You are doing exactly the right thing by being ambitious about what the people of this town can do for the town. And risk positive, that's a great phrase, both for that kind of activity but also for the kind of work that we do in taking these buildings and so on, because you have to take a positive approach to risk.
Sure.
In both cases. It seems to me it suits very nicely.
Yeah.
We have I think it's Europe's biggest indoor skate park in Hastings. It was an old swimming baths on lots of different levels, and it's called Source Park, and they have a very similar kind of approach. And what I found so interesting about them was you kind of have a stereotype that it's all going to be, you know, teenage boys or something, and it so isn't. Our work is DIY regeneration. So I suppose get on with it ourselves. Don't wait for a benevolent policy, don't wait for a government announcements. Get on with your work and continually stay open to working with others who share your values. And a community benefit society is, as we know, a wonderful approach to being able to reach lots of people who don't just become names on the list, but actually become owners of that, stakeholders, shareholders in that community business. A community leader is somebody who steps forward to take action. So it's anybody who will step forward to take action on behalf of and with the community. And we should be glad and grateful for community leadership, for those people, whoever they are, stepping forward, rather than, as too often happens, calling them the usual suspects. We are as professional as any other sector, and a great deal more so. The more local you are, the more focused you are on meeting your responsibilities. You engage with the immediate neighbourhood, and the best way to do that always is through occupation, through just being able to actually be in the space and to let people come into the space and experience the space, preferably over a couple of years is my preference is always before, not necessarily before you buy, because you may need to buy because of whatever the deal you're doing is, but either before you buy or before you do all the renovation, you take some time in the building with local people from the immediate area and others to try things out, experience what it feels like to be in that building, how the noise works, you know, how the locks work, how the practicalities of everything work, and exactly what you want to do next, rather than, as we're so often forced to do, develop a detailed plan in advance of every last thing that we're going to change physically and every social activity we're going to run, and project that 30 years into the future. You know, that kind of planning is just totally inappropriate for what we're doing. You, the organiser, are not taking a message to other people. The only message you're taking is, I'm listening. What is it you want to say? What is it you want to do? And how can we do that together? Regeneration is a kind of art, not a science, and that it's entirely unpredictable, that your interventions are, the impact of your interventions is unpredictable, but that what we need to do, if we go forward in good faith and with integrity, then we will create great outcomes. People who want to do something interesting. Maybe people are getting to understand a bit more that we are not in control in the same way as was thought. But what we can control is our own attitude to the place and to each other. And so let's focus on that attitude, on some DIY, some strong sense of agency, try and fail. Some things won't work, so give it a go anyway. It's worth a try. It's not worth spending £30 million on something and then it fails, but it's definitely worth spending even £30,000, but definitely £3,000 or 30 quid. You know, let's just give it a go. Let's open the doors, let's try things. So I think maybe there is a time now and coming where the crisis, the sense of crisis, can actually be harnessed as a sense of let's just try. I mean, institutions should be supporting people, shouldn't they? They should be supporting the activity of citizens. That is my belief, whether they are councils or universities or banks or any institutions. They should be focused on, are they adding value to local people's agency and power? the stuff you do has to constantly move between the right now, the quite soon and the long-term future, and you're constantly shifting your focal length almost between those things, and they feed each other. Those different things feed each other. So somebody walks in here next Tuesday and starts just says, oh, I'm interested in creative writing. Then later they will become a trustee, or they'll become involved, they'll become a member of staff, a volunteer, or they'll just come up with a brilliant idea that nobody else has thought of yet. So that work, the day-to-day work of just chatting to people and welcoming people, is so much part of the long stuff as well as the immediate stuff. They're all intertwined. You're doing it all right. Just keep going.
Thanks, Jess.